Hey everybody, TopCon here. Today we're going to be looking at a match from the stress test against one of the best players I played against in Age of Empires 4 so far. He goes by the name of Giveuanxiety. I'm playing as the Holy Roman Empire, or HRE, and my opponent is playing as the Abbasid Dynasty. This game is played on the island map, Archipelago, and I'm just trying it out here for the first time, a new strategy, where I put all my villagers immediately onto wood and try to rush up a bunch of docks and basically just fish boom like mad. So the first thing I make from the town center is a prelate, and that's because the prelate can buff all my villagers to give a buff called Holy Inspiration, and this allows them to gather 40% faster. That's why these villagers here turn yellow, and this strategy, it got me into the water really quick. But watching it here, for sure it could have been even quicker, because at 45 seconds I have enough wood to build my dock, so next time I need to have a villager already at the water by 45 seconds. Now my opponent did stream this game as well, so we can have a little more fun here and I'll show his view sometimes too. We do see that he got his first dock up a little bit before me. That's because the Abbasid Dynasty start with 200 wood, and they also get docks for half price. I'll just throw up the bonuses here on the left, you can see them all there. Giveuanxiety also seems to have a decent water build this game too. It seems like he immediately starts his fishing boat production when the dock's done. That's good to see. The next big thing that both my opponent and I are doing here is that we have to scout the island. And that might seem obvious, but we're actually just trying to scout the island to find out where the deep sea fish are located near the island. That's very important because that's where we're going to need to put the docks down. The deep sea fish have the highest food gather rate in the game, currently at 1.1 food per second, so it's really important to find them quickly for a good dock position. This is actually kind of a poor spot, I think, for my second dock, but... oh, I even deleted the fish. That's no good. Well then. I should have probably... well, I guess there's the one there. You can see the one on the minimap if you look closely. That's kind of what I want it close to, and then there's two on the right. So I'm going to throw my third dock on the right at some point. I'm also have a quick look at my opponent's minimap. I feel like he made a pretty good choice with his dock, and he scouted really well. He sees a lot of options for fish already. If we see here, I have my second dock already up. I'm basically able to start pumping ships from both almost instantly. I think if I rebalanced it a little bit to have one less on food and one more on wood, I'm pretty sure I could have started from that and also kept the vill production. If you haven't noticed yet, in the top right I have both my opponent's and my population listed. I'm on the bottom. This is because I wanted to see at what point do I start to jump ahead in population because of my multiple dock strategy. So a quick look here at the left, my dock is kind of in a bad spot because there's only a shore fish here, no deep sea fish, so it does hurt my income. My second dock looks okay for now. What I really need to start thinking about is aging up, because I haven't even started on gold, and that should have been a lot earlier. Looking at my opponent's view, he started to age up at 340, but notice already because I'm up at dock, my population's a little bit higher. Now if you're wondering why I mute the game sound sometimes here, it's because my audio got messed up when recording, and I didn't realize until after the stress test, so rather than blast out your ears with these constant robotic sounds, I'll just mute the game sounds during that. Alright, looking at my economy here, it's pretty clear now that I didn't need villagers on sheep, and I'm in desperate need of gold. So it looks like around 5 or 6 fishing ships, that's when I should be able to move the villagers that I had on food off. It's a good number to keep track of, because that's something I could have easily done to have gold earlier and be aging up here at a reasonable time, with just one small change. Like, it's easy to see here that the gold is really what's holding me back from aging up. Looking at the population here, it's not even 5 minutes, and I'm up by 6, which is a pretty big number for a game that has had no battles. My opponent here does have the resources to put up another dock, and it looks like he will decide to do that. He's also pulling a lot of gold here. This can really only mean that he's going for an early attack from his docks. He could have had his second dock much earlier though, and I feel like if there aren't big changes in the next build of the game, then double dock openings on water maps are going to be the strongest opening. It's almost as if you have 3 town centers in Dark Age with the economy you get. And honestly, looking at my resources, I should have had a 3rd dock down. So because my age up here is so late, I have an excess of food. So you see I grab a boat that has 40 food on it for some dumb reason, and I send it to go scouting. So I guess it's always good to see how much food you have before you send a scout. I think for sure it's probably worth sending a single boat out just to see what's going on the map. The amount of fishing boats I had 100% is. I'm glad I'm reviewing this game though because it has lots of good mistakes for me to learn from. And now this part of the game is a little scary because he's just aged up and it's before I even started my landmark. So quick review. Pull off food earlier, build 3rd dock earlier, start production in feudal instantly because I can already see I'm going to have a ton of extra food when I age up. But I'm not going to have any real way to spend it. But if I drop down a stable or 2 and just spam horsemen, maybe I could just overwhelm them with like a transport drop. That lumber mill there also looks like it needs to be refreshed soon too. For me, that's a constant struggle. Population-wise, I'm up by like 11 or 12 at 6 minutes, which is actually quite insane. And here's where my little scout that I sent out earlier, it really helps out. It sees something big. My opponent, he has units. So I panicked a bit, because I'm still in Dark Age. Obviously I have no units. So I need to start planning immediately. Get ready to pump out galleys, hotkey all the docks, cancel fishing boats that are in production, and just start pumping military. Because I saw he already has military out. If you notice, I was actually so scared there, I even pulled a bunch of villagers and added more onto the landmark because I felt like I need to start those fast. So I think for sure there's a lot of strength in this strategy, but I have way too much food. I don't know if I threw down a market yet. It doesn't look like it. And this is where my strategy looks really bad, because what he's doing here is totally punishing my fish boom. And just listen to his reaction, he knows it.
Oh, I got him. Barely killed him, I think, just before I garrisoned. Yeah, it looks like he's kind of over fish booming. I'm just having a good timing here.
And I do start pumping out warships. One thing I'm curious is, did I grab the armor upgrade for my boats? I don't think I did yet. I wasn't watching for that. But that's one thing that's really important in this matchup especially, is getting the armor upgrades for the boats. Because his boats actually only hit for like 8 damage. And then if you get the armor upgrades, you can reduce that to be hitting for like 1 damage in the feudal age. It's actually broken against the Abbasids. And I remember being feeling really frustrated here because my opponent, he is picking off so many of my fishing boats. But it didn't end up mattering too much because I think my boats are a little bit stronger than his. Like the Abbasids kind of felt weak. I think if you do play them, you just have to never engage the main army. You can just use their superior speed to just outmaneuver the enemy. That's probably one thing he could have done more, because the entire right side basically got ignored most of this game here. And so he's continuing to pick off boats, and population-wise he's actually catching up. For sure, it's because of my macro. Because at this point he's outplaying me. For sure he's outplaying me. The only reason I'm ahead here is just because my strategy was a little bit better, I think. And that's probably through luck, because I'd never tried it. But I think for sure there's a lot to this. If you just early fish boom, like look how strong my boat is, man. It's tanking like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that 5 boats? Yeah. And it's still doing well. The dock's healing a lot. And now I have 5 boats here. And in reality he should be running. Yeah, good. Good, he ran away. Another part I hated about this map is probably my dock positioning was the reason. I put my second dock in a really bad place. Because there's like this hidden grass here, and he just really abused it. Because you can't, like, it's right next to me and I couldn't see into it. It's another thing I have to keep in mind about when placing the docks. So, it's 10 minutes in the game, I had so many resources. I threw down a age up building. I picked the relic one, which in hindsight was probably really dumb, because I didn't even have any production. If I threw the other one down, the 5 times barracks production, would have been way better. So he's coming in with basically an all-in attack, because I believe he pulled fishing boats here.
Actually, let's pull the fishing boats. I have so much food, I maybe just pull them and go for like death push, basically.
Yeah, for sure he has. And so this looks really broken. Like, look how many boats he has attacking my boat. And it's doing okay, and I believe it's because I got armor upgrades. And I pulled villagers to go to repair here, and he hasn't noticed until now. And look what he does with his screen, actually. He actually rotates his screen, and this actually convinced me that it's probably worth, like, rebinding the keys so that I can rotate my screen. Because if it was really hard to see those vills. And then I didn't even realize how many vills I was losing. Because if you look at my screen, to me I thought those vills are still alive, and then I realized for a minute, oh wait a sec. Okay, I'm losing a lot of vills here, I better pull back. But overall my boats are doing a lot better than his. And I do have idols, but you know, I've taken some losses. I actually lost a lot of vills there, and somehow the population still has me in the lead. I think if his fishing boats were actually working, like with the amount of vills that he just killed there, he could have pulled all his fishing boats back, and I think that would have been a better choice for him. Don't know how many he has up here still, though. I see at least 2. So here we see him continuing to fight on top of my dock. I think by him this is probably a mistake. And yeah, okay, he does pull back. It's really hard to fight against somebody's docks. And I don't know if he has a blacksmith down, but for sure he, as Abbasids, you 100% need the +1 attack. That's what this is telling me. The blacksmith upgrades do affect the boats. So I think if you get the attack upgrades here, he's going to benefit massively. Because it'll go from... I think his boats are probably hitting for 2 damage. So if he gets that upgrade, it's going from 2 to 3. So that's a pretty big bonus. And his boats attack really fast. Oh yeah, he moused over it there. So it's not a lot. Yeah, he finally just started his +1 attack upgrade there. And I'm getting the ballista upgrade on my boat. And wow, I have a lot of bills queued up. Like, if I just threw down a few stables here, I would probably be in a lot better position. And pull some guys off gold. I have way too many on gold and not enough on wood. That's what this is telling me. Like, wait, oh wait, okay, I did it finally. That's good at least. Eco balance in this game is still something I'm pretty weak at, I'd say. And in this game, population-wise, I'm actually way behind right here in population. That's surprising. I didn't know I was ever behind in pop in this game. So I am behind in pop. I think a big deal, a big percentage of the reason I'm behind is I lost so many vills. What I am ahead in, though, is that I've aged up. And yeah, I'm actually checking to see if he's aged up a few times. And one thing that this has shown me is that the Abbasids, like, their boats are way faster than mine. So he can just keep moving around the map and doing hit and runs. And look at him coming out of the grass there. That was actually pretty brilliant. So he's on top of my dock in both of these places. And yeah, this is really good by him. He starts running that left group around. And I pull Vills to defend here. And he's not watching this. Yeah, now he's watching this fight. And yeah, he rotates the screen again and starts picking off Vills. I pull the Vills back quick this time. And now his army is way overcommitting. Like, this fight is going pretty poorly for him. And, okay, yeah, okay, he does start to pull back. But right in that fight, right away, you could see I caught up a little bit. Yeah, we're within 2 population of each other. And again, I should be way further ahead, but wow, my macro is awful this game. And if we look at the vision of mini-maps here, like, I have scouted almost nothing. That's something I for sure need to work on. Because I built this relic upgrade landmark in this game, and I can't even see any relics on the map. So that's a big mistake. Well, this is why it's good to watch replays. And wow, I have been at 80 out of 80 pop for at least 30 seconds. Okay. And it's good to watch replays like this, though. And I still can't believe he's still on feudal age. That's why I kept checking that button on the top right, because I'm like, there's no way he's still feudal age. So because he's been on feudal so long, I've got a lot of castle age boats. And I do start to make a transport. And it looks like my gold ran out. I really need to move those vills. Yeah, okay. And this is where it kind of sucks. This is my only other gold on the island, right? And it's right next to the water. It's touching the water. So I was really upset, because I'm like, okay, if this guy ever attacks me, I'm going to lose vills and gold no matter what. And we look at my opponent, looks like he's gauging for another attack. He's coming through that grass. Shows up, surprises me. Starts shelling arrows, and he sees my gold. And yeah, since he's a smart player, I thought he was going to try and go for the gold, and he did. So I pulled back. And he's finally noticed this area. I've had this area for forever. I have so many fishing boats here. So he starts going out to the fishing boats. I pulled a lot of them back. And at this point he's still ahead, which, wow. I thought I was way ahead most of this game, to be honest. I think the only thing I'm ahead in is that I have superior army and superior tech. And my macro is awful. I'm ahead of him in macroing poorly, that's for sure. Because, wow. 1,800 food. But, like, what do I even spend it? Yeah, if I threw down a bunch of stables and pumped horsemen and just dropped a transport ship, I think that's what you have to do if you fish boom like this. 'Cause he probably has no army at home, and I know I have no army at home. And that'd be a really good thing to follow up if I ever do this. So that's something I want to note. My wood there was pretty bad. My wood line is not good. Okay, I do every time I comment on it, it's like and I'm at 100 out of 100. There we go. More houses. I move out for an attack. I get scared, even though for sure it looks like I should just crush this army. Because his boats are doing like nothing because of my armor upgrades. And I don't think he's been keeping up in attack upgrades. I thought I built 2 houses. There we go, there's the other house. So this is like the first point in the game where I feel like I'm actually quite ahead. And I can see he's kind of panicking. And he just started his castle age at 18 minutes, by the way, which for him that's probably another big mistake. It's interesting to watch back from this point of view, though, because you see a lot of things that you probably wouldn't see. And it's hard to judge, like, where you are in the game when you're playing it. So this gives me a better idea of what to think. And look at this. I hated this, man. My gold. That was driving me crazy, actually. Because that's the only gold I can get. That's why I built this awful tower that does nothing. Why did I build it there? I should have built it next to the gold, if anywhere. And I was feeling pretty frustrated this game. I'm like, this guy, his name is Giveuanxiety. He is giving me anxiety right now because it is tough to keep up with him. His boats are fast. And that's really the one thing that Abbasids have going for them. That really this game taught me. Is that they are fast, man. Like, I thought my boats were just superior, but my boats had no chance to catch him. So if he just kept running around and picking off, like, fishing ships, I should never be able to move out like I did here. Or if I did, I should at least lose all my fishing boats. But he's in a really tough spot. And he just threw down like 10 docks. And when I arrived on his island, I was amazed how many docks there were. And what he's doing here is actually really smart. This is a really good play by him. I should have kept some of these guys at home because I had to pull off eco. Like, I have a way stronger army, and I checked again because I couldn't believe he wasn't castle. And then finally he goes up to castle. And basically that's the only reason I'm still in this game. Is that my tech advantage. I boomed early with fish. I got a tech advantage. And then I don't know what I did with all my fishing boats. I think I might have lost, actually, all my fishing boats at this point. I know I have 3 garrison, but that might be all that I have left. And I've got 31 idols. Where are these idols? Come on, hit the idol build. And to build houses, oh my lord. So if I have to make notes from what I did really poorly this game. So far, macro awful. 30 idols for like at least 30 seconds here. Awful. Bad positioning of my second dock. What did I do good though? Upgrades were good. It looks like I'm finally spreading my army out all over the place now. I'm trying to pick off all the docks that I can. What I didn't realize here is that he started going for demo ships, which is actually so smart. And look at this demo ship damage that he's getting it. You'd think that would do more there. To me, like, demo ships should have a bigger explosion radius, man. But I'm basically just trying to spread out, because I felt like, okay, if I can control the water, I can probably just go for a sacred victory, or I can go for a transport ship and drop off a bunch of knights. Because at home I am making knights right now. And wow, that grass patch was driving me insane. And he's just pumping demo ships, and I don't even really realize it. I didn't even know what he was doing, to be honest. That seems like it's probably a good way to come back into a game. And at this point, I think it's just upgrades for the most part, and that he's been so far behind in tech that I've been pumping out Castle Age boats for like 10 minutes now. And his even 2 demo ships don't even kill one of my boats. But that's... yeah, I don't know what to say about that. HRE might just be a little bit too strong on water. And I still have 5 idols somewhere, probably in the outpost I've had to guess. And it looks like he GG's there. So to me that was a pretty fun game. I learned a lot from it, from watching both perspectives there. And I think that HRE opening with 3 docks early, 2 or 3 docks early, is actually really strong. So that's the first time I've ever really analyzed one of my games like this. If you thought it was worth watching, let me know, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know, maybe I'll do it again. And make sure you subscribe for more Age of Empires 4 content in the near future. TopCon out.